What's up guys, it's Lun-Gi. So today we're going to be taking a look at the OCG meta for May 2025. I compiled a list of topping decks from the OCG. So these are top 4 in like smaller like premier level events, and top 16 of like bigger events with like more than 100 people. So I collected 235 total deck lists, and the top 5 topping decks are Vanquish Soul, Yummy, Malice, Draco Tail, and Ryzeal with the Onomats engine. So here I listed all of the decks. It's 24 decks in total, with tier 1 technically being Vanquish Soul, Yummy, and I guess you could say Malice and Draco Tail. And then Ryzeal is about half of the second best decks at 16. So I guess you can say Ryzeal is tier 2. And then these are a decent number of tops, so I guess you could say that Lunar Light, Sky Striker, White Forest are tier 3, and then Christian, K9, Artemisia, and Blue Eyes and Cyber Dragon are basically like rogue decks. And then you have some decks that manage to squeeze in one top performance in the month. So we've got 60 card Spice. It's a 60 card deck with a bunch of engines. Atlantean, branded with a Draco Tail engine. Dynamorphia, Gem Knight with a K9 engine, Gimmick Puppet with a Horus engine, Melodious with Breakers, Morganite, the engine is Pure Evil, Tri-Sprites with K9, and Tempai with Breakers as their sub-engine. So this is a pie chart of all the tops. So Vanquish Soul, K9 got 23% overall, Yami got 21%, so very close, and then Malice got 13%. And Draco Tail also got 13%. So Malice and Draco Tail are about even, with Malice having like one more top over Draco Tail. But Draco Tail does have more uses in terms of like being like a sub-engine in other random decks. And then we have Vanquish Soul with the Onomats engine. So there weren't any pure not Vanquish Soul, Ryzeal with the Onomat engine. So there weren't any pure Ryzeal decks that topped. So only ones with Onomat, which is the new Utopia support. So yeah, those are the top decks. And then I linked all of the decks to Google Drive, so I will link I'll put the links in the description. So if you guys want to take a look at the decks, you can just click on the link, and then you can check out like any deck lists that you want to check out. But for the video, we'll just take a look at some of the deck lists, starting with the best deck, Vanquish Soul K9. Alright, so we're gonna take a look at about 5 decks for this archetype. So yeah, some of this is pretty standard. So this version is playing about 8 K9 monsters, one other quick play, one continuous spell that searches, and then they also have small world. One thing you'll notice about all of the deck lists is that all of the deck lists that use K9 at least, or are Draco Tail, they don't use infinite impermanence. That's because as a part of the engine, they've got monsters that summon themselves on the opponent's turn. So because of that, you don't want to play impermanence, because you might have to like summon your monsters before you can actually use impermanence, or you might top deck impermanence into like your own monsters on the field. So they don't play impermanence anymore. And yeah, in the extra deck, they've got this new monster. Well, not new, it came out in like the Shark Duelist pack, but they summon this using Nesh Knight, and then they can also summon I think it's C107 or something. So this is the one that negates all the monsters, all face up cards on the field or something. So that's like pretty standard in these lists. And then in the side deck, they've got three copies of Phantasme. That's for the mirror match, and I guess for Malice as well, being able to draw like extra cards. And then this is for Draco Tail. And then they got the cool buys in the side, not maining them. And then they've got Duster, and they're maining Shifter because they kind of don't care about Shifter. Yeah, because like on their own first turn, they don't need to be sending anything to the graveyard. So Shifter's in the main, and then one copy of a Kaiju. That's because the Lunar Light boss monster, the new one, is unaffected by card effects, and it's got 3800 attack, and it can basically nuke all special summon monsters. So it's very hard to actually get rid of, especially when it's sitting next to Baguska. So they play a Kaiju to be able to get rid of that card. Alright, so second list looks like it's the same list. It's not the same list, but it's very similar. They've got Kurikara instead of the Kaiju. They've got Phantasme in the main here, and then they have they're also playing 8 K9s in this version. And then they've got a similar extra deck as well. They're playing Dice Smasher, and then this one's got 2 draws in the side, one copy of Vados the Eruption Dragon of Extinction. That's because Yami uses a field spell, Malice uses a field spell, and of course Vanquish Soul K9, they also use a field spell, one copy of the new field spell. So Vados can nuke the field spell, put itself on their side of the field. Then on your turn you can summon this guy, Ryzeal, and then you can pop the Vados, and then Vados will nuke your opponent's board. So very nice in the mirror match and against Yami as well. So that has been seeing some popularity. Alright, so yeah, nothing really new with this list, kind of very similar, but this one's got some nibs as well, triple nib. And then another list, Kurikara's in the side deck, 2 in the main deck, so this guy was really scared of Lunalight. And then the last one we'll be taking a look at, so this has also been seeing some play, Contact C. It's okay against Vanquish K9, because if they summon this Chicky, you just summon this to their side of the field and they can't actually make an Xyz on your turn. Yeah, they can't make an Xyz on your turn, and then they can't make anything else as well until they get rid of this. They have to like make Donna or something before they can make their Link 1 or any XYZ monsters. So it's good in the mirror, it's good against Yami, because they want to synchro summon their own like monsters, and then they can't really like use this, and they have to like make some other Link monster first before they synchro summon, so that can really interrupt their combos. So Contact C has been seeing some play. And then I guess this Underworld Goddess in the side deck can easily get rid of the Lunalight boss monster, because even though Lunalight is not like a top deck, like you don't really want to lose because you can't out the boss monster. And then we also have like Vados. So that's it for the Vanquish Soul deck lists. Next we'll take a look at some Yami lists. So kind of standard, we got 2 engage, 1 drones, 3 copies of Obedient School, just the Yami monsters, some hand traps. This one's got thrust in the main. So thrust can be live very often on your first turn, because the top decks can play on turn 0 thanks to like K9 and Draco Tail. So thrust can be live to be able to search cards for you. And then this one's got like D-Barrier in the main deck, that's against Yami and also against Draco Tail. Vanquish K9 doesn't care about D-Barrier so much. And then in the extra deck, just 1 of each of the synchros. Double Herald is part of the end board, 1 Marcher, 1 Cat Thing, which can be good for some combos. 3 of the Link 1, SP, Link Spider, Almirage, and then we've got the Sky Striker monsters. And then I'm not sure if TCG has Camellia, but you can make it with basically like any 2 monsters, any 2 like effect monsters, and then yeah, you can dump like Engage, and then you can go into Kagari, and then Kagari can add back Engage, and then you activate Hornet Drones. And then the side deck, we've got some Draco Tail hates, and then we've got some Vanquish K9 hates, and then some Solemns. Next deck list, so this one is taking in Ibli. So normal summon Ibli, put on your opponent's side of the field, and now they can't actually nib you, and they can't summon anything from their hand, so it shuts down the K9 engine as well. So it has been popular, and you can search for Ibli with Period Race map. They're only playing Hornet Drones here, and they're not playing the engages. And then they've got triple droplets in the main deck, and then triple purge, which is quite popular in Yami. And then in the extra deck, nothing too spicy except the new Link 2, which helps the deck. It can set quick plays from the graveyard when you summon it. So they're playing 3 copies of the quick play, which has got like 3 different effects. It's a very good card. It can be disruption, it can be extension. Excellent card for Yami. So this one's also playing Ibli, a very similar list, but this one's siding the K9 engine, and then it's playing Underworld Goddess, mainly for like Lunalight probably, and then the K9 XYZ that can negate card effects in the hand or in the graveyard. And then this one is also quite similar, but they're maining the K9 engine, and they're also playing Ibli and triple Period Race map, so they can actually see the Ibli more often. And then they're also playing 1 copy of this new hamster synchro. And then the last list we'll be taking at, also maining the K9 engine with a couple of more XYZ monsters, 1 of each synchro monster, and then some Solemns in the side, and Pancratops, which is good against Yami, and of course Lanciers for Malice. Now for the Malice lists, so this Malice list is maining K9 engine, so they can make the hand trap negator without actually playing into draw, because this dumps straight to the graveyard. This summons itself. So if you want to activate anything in the hand or graveyard, I believe. Maining the 1 copy of Shifter, basic standard Malice lineup over here with one Dormouse, because Dormouse is limited in the OCG, but the field spell's at 3. They've got a lot more toys than the TCG, so Malice, even though there's only 1 Dormouse, it's actually much stronger than it is in the TCG. because they've got Appaloosa, they've got Link Decoder Steel. So having Link Decoder Steel, having Appaloosa, and then having like 3 Rabbit and then 3 of the Field Spell does give the deck a lot more options and a lot more consistency. So they've been maining and siding Deep Fissure to deal with some of the graveyard reliant decks like Draco Tail and Yummy. They're reliant on the graveyard, so they have been maining and siding Deep Fissure. Next list, they're playing this AI card, which is a Searcher. This one is a small Salamangreat engine. So yeah, so one spinny. So one Gazelle, I believe, can maybe get you like two materials on board. So I'm not exactly sure how that will play out. But I'm guessing since they play this card, they want more targets, just in case they already have all the Malice cards that they need. And then yeah, this one's maining Impermanence, which isn't very popular in the OCG format from what I've seen from all the decks. And then this one is playing Signet Mining, and also 2 copies of Jawbread. So Jawbread is a new card in the OCG. If you don't know what it does, if you have a monster in your graveyard, pay 200 life points, draw 1 card and show it. Then if it's a monster, apply the effect based on its attributes, different from the monster in your graveyard, draw 1 card. Same as a monster in your graveyard, discard a card. So it's potentially a free draw 2. Yeah, it's actually a very good card, especially if you play a bunch of hand traps. And it's very nice if you don't hit a monster when you draw. It's very nice actually. Alright, so 2 copies of Jawbread. They're playing 2 droplets, and they have 3 nibs in the side deck. And then extra deck is pretty standard. Nothing too spicy in the side deck, but they are playing Nightmare Phoenix. And then Charmy's in the main. Yeah, this one is very like hand trap heavier than usual. Then they're doing the TCG thing of only playing two Malice traps. Alright, so this list is also pretty hand trap heavy. This time they're playing a pair of Bysteals, choosing Ball Drake over Jewess Worm. So I guess they value the sniping effect of special summon monsters. They got the Wizard in the side deck, and then they've got 1 copy of Gamma in the side deck. Sometimes OCG players like to try some spice. Yeah, they want to try out some spice. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And then they've got Ogres. Ogre, it's okay against decks, but I wouldn't play it in the main deck personally. And then triple Signet Mining. Now taking a look at the Draco Tail lists. So this one is a Draco Tail list that's featuring Fiendsmith and K9. So this is not very standard, especially using Fiendsmith. So Lacrima is still legal in the OCG, so it's very easy to make Caesar in using the Fiendsmith engine. So playing a bunch of K9s, so 8 K9s, that's a typical like engine like number for a deck that's playing like K9 variant. So 3 copies of the Searcher. So this is basically just straight up Draco Tail and K9 in the same deck, which I've actually tried out and it works out pretty well. So he's testing out Reaper in the side deck. You see they've got the Yummy Link one. So if you Reaper the Yummy Link one, then Yummy basically can't play. So next is another one. So this time they're playing the Lunalight card, which searches for polymerization. You could use that, or you could use King of the Swamp. I'm not sure why they choose the Lunalight card instead of King of the Swamp. I can't see a particular reason why you'd want it over King of the Swamp. I think maybe because like if it's used as material, there's another effect if you use it as material. Maybe it can add back a poly, so that could be a reason to use it over King of the Swamp. But also not very standard. So this time small K9 engine, probably just to make the rank 5 monster. They're also playing the other one as well, which you need to like rank up into. And I don't actually see a way for them to rank up into this, because okay, they can make it straight up. And then they've got the New Castle, which is a Book of Moon, basically quick effect. It's very nice to make, especially like into something like Yummy, where if you book something, it can be hard for them to kind of continue if you book like their normal summon or something. And then triple Phantasm in the side, they've got Ultimate Slayer, triple Reaper, and they've got the targets like in the main. So it looks like they're mainly targeting the Yummy Link one. I don't see like I guess for the mirror match as well, they can target this guy for the mirror match, and then they can target this for like K9 variants. So I guess they got everything they kind of need in the deck already, working in the deck. So they only needed to add this as like another target for Reaper. And also they could hit this card, which is like basically a floodgate in the mirror match. So it's called Sacramentum Dragon. While you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summoned dragon and spellcaster monsters they control. You can target one dragon and one spellcaster monster in your graveyard, special summon one of them, and if you do, place the other on the bottom of the deck. So it can recycle your fusion monsters, and then also it floodgates your opponent. So basically every mirror match uses this card. So the last list we'll be taking a look at for Draco Tail. This one uses Shaddoll Beast, which can draw you a card if it's used as fusion material. It's got a bigger K9 engine, 7 cards in total, 1 copy of the continuous spell card. And then in the extra deck it's got Winder, because you can make Winder with I think Faimina can make Winder, if I'm not mistaken, because it is a spellcaster monster. And then in the extra got Giant Hand, and then we've got the targets for the K9 engine, the XYZs, and then Sacramentum Dragon, and then 1 copy of SP Little Knight. You kind of need to be playing one of these because people are playing Contact C, so you just want a way to be able to get rid of the Contact C so you can actually play the game. Next we'll be taking a look at Ryzeal Onomat. Alright, so this is Ryzeal Onomat. These guys are limited in the OCG, I believe. Yeah, so Sword and X are limited. Obviously 1 node, and then 1 copy of the new guy. 3 copies of Ice, and then 3 copies of Do Warrior. 1 copy of Go Gloves. 1 copy of the new Goblinberg, and then 1 copy of the new Gunbarrel Lancer. So yeah, so pretty small Onomat engine. So this guy's like your main like starter. So he doesn't use your normal summon. So you activate his effect to special summon himself as a level 4, and then you'll be dumping this card, and then this card will just summon itself back, and then you can make something like you can make like Duo Drive, and then once you detach them, both of them will actually search. So then you've got your search targets here. So this one can recruit from the deck. I think it's deck or graveyard or hand. I need to double check. And then this can summon itself and another like a Gaga monster from hand. And then you can search them with your searcher, Onomatopera, by discarding a card. Then also playing like Small World, and then the remaining droplets in the main deck. And then in the side they've got Super Poly, so they're playing Mud Dragon, and it's a level 4, so it's useful for the deck. And then they do go for Ryzeal Ouroboros, because you can get like a bunch of XYZs on the field thanks to the extra engine. And then in the side deck we can search for this card using the new Gagaga Girl. So Gagaga Girl can search this, which is a basically Omni Negate counter trap card, and it also allows you to be able to like attach from the graveyard, but they're not playing Utopias, so I don't think they can use a second effect in the graveyard. And then siding Solemns. The next list, almost very similar. This time they've got 1 extra Gagaga themed monster. This one revives from the graveyard and can summon itself from the hand if you control the appropriate monster. And this one just XYZs in the extra deck. And they're playing the new Castel. So if it's sent to the graveyard, you can actually destroy a spell or trap. So it gives X more options in the extra deck as far as what you can send to trigger. And then they're playing a Diffusure in the side deck, because it does hit Yummy and Draco Tail super effectively. And next one is siding Dark Ruler, and then 3 Diffusure. And then in the main deck, this one's got even more monsters from the archetype. So having an extra monster with a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a total of 8 of them. And then also playing the continuous spell card that searches for Onomatopera, and then only 1 copy of Small World. And they're choosing to main deck the counter trap instead of putting it in the side deck. And then the extra deck is very, very similar to what you're expecting to see. And then they've got the Purulia in the side deck. And the last list we'll be taking a look at, so very, very similar. This time they're playing a copy of this guy, who can search your Onomat's cards and can summon himself if you control a and XYZ, and then they're choosing to search for him using Laplacian, because if you use 3 materials, you can search for any level 4 monster with Laplacian. So yeah, it does improve your combos a little bit. And then the side deck, they've got the Solemns, so a bunch of trap cards. They've got Red Reboot, and then they've got Draws, and then they've got the Retaliating Seas for all of the special summon spell users in the meta. And then double Dark Ruler for going second.